Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a makeup look using this palette right here. I'll mostly be using these blue shades right here. So if you want to see what look I come up with, please keep on watching. Okay, so the first shade that I'm going to use is this A Secret Lagoon shade. And I'm going to be using the Sigma E34 brush. I'm just going to pack this color to the outer corner and the crease and the inner corner. Okay, so a movie I recently went to go see in theaters was the Protege. Is that how you say it? I don't know, but it was, yeah, something, the Protege. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. So it has the actress Maggie, I want to say Maggie Q. Pretty sure she's the girl that plays Nikita in the show Nikita. If you guys ever watched that. And also another actor that's in the movie is Samuel L. Jackson, the one that plays Fury in the Avengers. So definitely it was I like the movie, but I wouldn't say like it's a movie that like, oh, you have to go see and watch it in theaters. But it was a good movie. If you like action movies, I feel like you would enjoy that movie. And oh my gosh, I just realized I didn't really like prime my eyelids. I just had foundation on top of them. So this makeup look is not gonna last me, I would say. Maybe that's why it's like the eyeshadow is not like, I don't know. It seems like it's blotchy, or like some parts it's more pigmented than others, but I'm gonna make it work. So the movie is about a girl, and again, I am so terrible at names, but we're gonna name her Nikita, okay? So it's about a woman named Nikita, and she works for, yeah, I'm pretty sure she works, well, she works with, I don't know if she works for, but she works with Samuel Jackson's character, so let's call him Max. I don't know. So she works with Max, and they both basically are, I guess, trained assassins, I would say. So whoever pays them to go kill someone, that is what they do. So in the beginning of the movie, it shows Max coming into a room, and there's like dead bodies everywhere. And then he starts getting closer to this like closet, and he opens it, and it's a little girl, and she has blood on herself, and she's holding a gun at Max. And he just like puts up his hands. First he like actually puts away his gun because he has his gun in his hand. And that's basically how he meets Nikita. Like, I think they were in Thailand, I want to say. From there they just became partners or co-workers. I don't know how you would call that kind of job. And then the next thing is that they're doing a job. So they end up kidnapping a guy, and I want to say this guy is the son of a man who is very rich, and I don't know if he's like some kind of like crime guy, or like he does bad things. I don't know. But they kidnap his son. So from there they tell him like, okay, so like we want 10 million, or I don't know how much, so you can have your son back, basically. And so the dad does that, and then it's just Nikita driving the van, and the guys kind of like take Nikita, and they take her to this big like mansion. And once they get to the mansion, they bring her inside. It's the father, and he's like getting out of his pool, and he kind of tells her like, you know who you like basically are messing with. And she's very like doesn't really care, even though they're like, they kind of like hit her a little bit. And he just tells her like, you know, you're not gonna walk away from here with this money, like, you know, you're gonna die. And she kind of like smirks at him kind of, and he tells her like, what's so funny? And she just tell him, well, you know, we're not after your son or the money really, we're after you. And so after she says that, she pulls out like a phone, I want to say, and it's not even a phone, it's an actual like knife. She just like cuts him like deep in his neck, and you know, that was an obvious kill. He was not gonna survive that, so he dies. Obviously his bodyguards are like trying to like attack her and kill her, so she like, you know, beats them up and she leaves. And from there we see Max and her meet up, and Max just like throws the son to like the woods area. They get like a money transfer, so I'm guessing someone hired them to kill that man. And from there they like split up, and we see that she lives, you know, I think it's New York, I want to say. So she lives somewhere like very, no, actually not New York, I want to say it's somewhere in Europe actually. Don't remember where in Europe, but I know it's in Europe. And so she lives with her, I want to say her friend, like a roommate or something. She actually owns like a library of like really old books, I want to say. I don't know if it's a library or if it's a bookstore. I think it's a bookstore, and it's just of like really old books, and like those very ancient books, the ones that like, oh, we only have, there's only like 5 copies of these books. And she lives a pretty like normal life. Not gonna lie, I'm not liking this makeup look, so I'm not really like letting you know what colors I'm using, because it just looks like a hot mess. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can see it's a hot mess, but you know, I'm just gonna go with it. We'll see how it turns out in the end. Like one day at her bookstore, and a man walks in. This man is, I don't know his name, which I feel bad because I feel like he's a very well-known actor. One that I instantly comes into mind, like a movie that instantly comes into mind, is Beetlejuice. He's Beetlejuice. So he comes into the bookstore and he's talking about he's looking for a specific book, and Nikita tells him that that book is very, very rare. There's only been like, I'm gonna say 3 copies of it. So she says that no, she does not have it, but she tells him like, you know, does she like poetry? She has a really rare edition. She tells him that it's like a $36,000 for that book. So he kind of tells her, oh, okay, well, no, thank you. And turns around, she puts the book away, and she turns back around, and he's kind of like in her face. And he tells her like, you're very intriguing. And so he gives her his number, like a card, a business card. And he says like, well, how long would it take for you to like actually like give me a call? And she says like, well, maybe like after a day or two, like I'll probably be, you know, relaxing, doing some errands, and then maybe I'll stumble across your card and I'll give you a call. He's like, all right. And so he just leaves. She goes to Max's house, and it's his birthday, so she brings him a I want to say, I think it was a cake or some type of pastry, I would say. And then she also brings him his gift. So his gift was like this rare guitar. And in that scene, you can see that they're very close, and like I feel like they see each other as like family. And also you see that he has like maybe some kind of medical condition, because, or like some kind of health condition, because he would like cough a lot. And I think he's just like some kind of like, I want to say like an EpiPen maybe, because I think he injects it onto himself. So he has like a really bad cough. So I don't know what exactly. I don't think throughout the movie tells us what he has, but he's clearly sick because that's not a normal cough. One day she actually goes back to Max's house and she opens the door. I think the door was actually ajar, and she like opens the door really like slowly, and on the floor you see that he has his I want to say his housekeeper, and she's on the floor and she's, you know, she's not alive anymore. She enters the house and she's looking around and it's like kind of a mess. You can see that something bad happened because things are thrown around. You see like bullet holes. And she goes into the bathroom, and in the bathroom you can see that there's a guy in there. And the camera doesn't show like the face or anything, but it shows the body. And so from there, I think she actually goes back to her bookstore. There were some guys waiting for her and they start shooting at her, and she is able to escape, but now she's like obviously gonna find like what's going on, why her boss was killed, and you know who's like basically after her, because like obviously they try to kill her too. So she knows that like Max was also looking into this one guy, Matthew, I don't know. So they were both looking into Matthew. So her boss was looking into him, and then John. And so clearly she made a connection of like, okay, so it's basically once we started looking into this person, it's when like these people came and like went for them and basically want to kill them. Okay, so I'm gonna fast forward, and basically they catch Nikita. So whoever killed Max and also John, they're the ones that captured her. So she's just asking questions about like, okay, so what's going on? Like, what is it about this man, Matthew, that, you know, made you kill my boss and my friend? And they told her like she's asking too many questions. It's none of her concern. And she was just telling them, well, I didn't care in the beginning, but once like you went after like everybody, and then after me, that's when it got personal, you know? So they're just torturing her, and then for like, I want to say like a couple of days, until like the guy from the bookstore, you know, Beetlejuice, he appears. He tells her like, you know, like, we're gonna talk, you know, we're gonna talk about this, and I'm just letting you know, like, just drop it, like, this is not something that you're gonna get out alive. And so the next day, when he was supposed to meet with her to talk, she basically escapes because the guys that were trying to like, they were trying to hang her, like another form of torture, I'm assuming. And so she actually is able to escape that. And after she escapes from there, she kind of like, she actually goes back to Thailand, which is somewhere that she never wanted to go back to because she was scarred. She had a lot of trauma when she was younger being there, and so it took a lot for her to actually go to Thailand, but she decided to go because she needed to get answers, and that's where she was gonna get the answers. She meets up with a group of like motorcyclists that kind of like know her, so they gave her a little bit more information about the man Matthew, and they told her Matthew, well, like, he's still at this psychiatrist. Yeah, it's that place where a lot of people who have very bad like mental health, like I want to say schizophrenia and other really serious mental health illnesses, go to this facility. She goes to see him, and he's gone. Like he's just in a chair, and he doesn't even seem mentally there, just sitting down, and it's like emptiness, you know? So then that's what we find out also as an audience, and Nikita finds out too, that this man clearly is not the one that pays someone to, you know, kill her and her two close friends. So now she's just kind of like wondering, all right, then who is the one behind all this? Basically, the person who was behind it was his dad. So his dad is this big, I want to say businessman. So he paid off Max to fake his death. So at this point, Beetlejuice guy. He was in like the market area of Thailand, and we see that the guy that he kind of basically works with was trying to get him killed. I don't know what the reason was actually why he was trying to get him killed. If I'm gonna be honest with you, I think it was just more of like a hatred towards him. So he is now pissed, and obviously he goes after him. But Nikita beats him to it. She actually kills him first to get out information from him. They kind of get into a fight. Yeah, I want to say it like picture Mr. and Mrs. Smith scene where like they both like find out that they're both spies and stuff, and like they like are shooting up the house, and it was basically like that because in the end they also hug up. Weirdest thing ever, but they hug up, and then as she's leaving the apartment of the dead guy's apartment that she killed, um she's walking out to the streets, and then she gets shot. She looked like she was gonna like pass out or something, but it looked like she was not gonna be able to fight this person. Then we come to see like someone shoot that person, and that was Max. Max was alive, like he was not dead, and he helps her up, and he takes her, you know, back to his, I think it was his hotel place, and he kind of tells her what happened. Okay, so Matthew's father is throwing like a banquet, you know, something that rich people do, like these big parties. That's basically what they're planning to do, is like get into that party. But as they're showing like everybody arriving, like there's so much security, and every security guard is passing around a picture of Nikita, so they know that she's obviously out there, and they want to make sure that they catch her and they don't get to the boss man. And then we finally see Nikita, and she is dressed as one of the waiters, but Beetlejuice actually is the one that notices her. So once he notices her, he goes after her because Matthew's dad is gonna make a speech, and he's saying like, "Oh, I'm glad that everybody's here. I'm glad that you're able to make it." And then she pulls out her gun and she's about to shoot him, but Beetlejuice like attacks her, and like she shoots. So everybody like gets scared. Everybody, obviously, you know, when you hear a gunshot, you know, so everyone freaks out, and everyone starts like running, and they take the boss man. He has a panic room, so they rush him into it, and Nikita obviously like is trying to like run away. Beetlejuice is trying to get to her, and so the boss guy, he actually makes it to his panic room, and in his panic room it's just him, and it has a bunch of cameras of like his whole house and just the whole area of his property. And then we see Max. He's in the panic room already. So, and so when Max shows up, and Matthew's dad kind of like, you know, gets scared, but like he knows he's kind of protected there because he knows that if he kills Matthew's dad, then he will die too. Like he knows like that he won't be able to like leave there out alive, right? So he's kind of just talking to him, and basically Matthew's dad tells him like, "You're not a good guy, you know, we're not far from each other." And Max kind of laughs and tells him like, "Oh no, like we are different. Like I know what I do is not great, but I go after people who do bad things and are not good people in society, basically." And even though that still doesn't justify what he's doing, but it's not like he's hurting innocent people compared to Matthew's dad, because he tells him like, "I'm a bad guy, you're evil." Like there's a difference, because he basically tells him like, you hired me so you would like to fake your own death. And Matthew's dad tells him like, "Yeah, it was for my son. It was so like no one tries to go after my son." He was kind of giving this BS excuse, but in reality he did that, from what I understood of the conversation they were having, was because like in the end he was doing dirty things, like bad really bad things, which is like human trafficking. So that's why Max goes after Matthew's dad, was because he was doing these really, really bad things and he was not okay with it. But then Matthew's dad is telling Max that, like, you know, you're not going to be able to make it out of here alive. You know, you try to kill me, well, you know, that'll be the end of you and me. And Max basically laughs again and tells him, like, that was not my plan. So then he brings out like this like homemade device that is gonna explode. So basically he in the end dies. I guess like dies kind of a hero, kind of, sort of. Then you just see this big explosion right from the panic room, and then it goes back to Nikita and Beetlejuice. It's funny that I'm calling him just Beetlejuice, but anyway, so he's like trying to go after her, and next scene we see her at this abandoned building, I would say, and she's having flashbacks of when she was little and she lived there, and she's just waiting for Beetlejuice to arrive. He arrives, and I forgot, they have just a small conversation about, you know, this is kind of like, it's either him or her, like kind of one of them is gonna die either way. And then the camera kind of captures the building but not like them, so then all you see is like a gun go off, and that's what happened. And then we just see someone walking down, and then it's Nikita, which surprised me because she was really badly injured. Like, I don't know how she survived that one, but she just walks out, and that is how the movie ends. So I mean, I did like the ending, just because I do like the hero, if you want to call her a hero, to like kind of be the one that survives, especially because she's been through a lot, since it shows like basically her parents were killed, and well, who knows if she actually was taken advantage beforehand. Just all these bad things that happened in her life, and so for her to like survive, it was like at least one good person survived from this. But anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this makeup look. I'm not a fan of it. But I hope you guys still enjoyed it. Just give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in my next video.